The wind howled like a living thing across the frozen expanse, cutting through layers of gear as if they were nothing. Snow swept endlessly over the white wasteland, erasing footprints, swallowing sound, and hiding everything beneath a merciless silence. This was a place where mistakes weren't forgiven, only buried, and she had been left there to die. Her name was barely spoken anymore among the team. Officially, she was listed as missing, presumed dead. Unofficially, the story was simpler. No one survives out here alone. But they were wrong. Half buried in snow beside a jagged ridge, she forced her eyes open. Every breath burned like fire in her lungs, the freezing air clawing deeper with each inhale. Blood had dried across her face, frozen into thin, cracking lines. Her body trembled uncontrollably, not from fear, but from the cold slowly claiming her. The ambush had been perfect, too perfect. 1 second, her squad had been moving silently across the ridge. The next, chaos erupted. Gunfire, explosions, white smoke mixing with snow. She remembered being thrown backward, her world spinning before crashing into the ice below. When she woke up, everything was gone. No voices, no movement, just silence and the cold. They hadn't even checked if she was alive. For a long moment she lay there, staring at the gray sky. Giving up would have been easy. The cold whispered it constantly. Just close your eyes, just rest. But something inside her refused, a stubborn, unbreakable will. Slowly, painfully, she pushed herself up. Her hands found the rifle half buried beside her. The metal was freezing, biting into her skin even through gloves. She pulled it close, like it was the last piece of the world that still made sense. Then she saw it. Far across the frozen valley, almost impossible to distinguish from the shifting snow, movement. Small, distant, but real. She squinted, adjusting her position, forcing her shaking hands to steady. Her training kicked in, automatic, precise. Wind direction, distance, elevation. Every calculation danced through her mind despite the haze of pain. And then it hit her. That wasn't just movement. That was the enemy, regrouping. If they reached the extraction zone, the rest of her unit, if anyone had survived, would walk straight into another ambush. Her breathing slowed. This wasn't about survival anymore. It was about finishing the mission. She adjusted the scope, her vision narrowing until the world became a single, focused line. The distance was absurd, impossible, really. Over 4,000 meters. No one made shots like that. Not in these conditions, not with this wind, not with a body on the edge of collapse. Her finger rested lightly on the trigger. The wind screamed louder. She waited. Seconds stretched into something endless. Her heartbeat synced with the rhythm of the storm. Timing was everything. One moment, one perfect moment. Then, silence. Just a brief lull in the chaos. She took the shot. The recoil jolted through her weakened body, nearly knocking her back into the snow. For a split second, there was nothing, just the echo of the rifle swallowed by the storm. Then, in the distance, one of the figures dropped. The rest scattered in confusion, their formation breaking instantly. Even from miles away, she could feel it, the shift, the disruption, the fear. She let out a breath she didn't realize she'd been holding. Mission complete. Hours later, when the SEAL recovery team arrived, they weren't expecting to find anything. Just a frozen body, maybe a piece of gear, something to confirm what they already believed. Instead, they found her, alive, barely conscious, half frozen, still clutching her rifle like it was the only thing keeping her anchored to the world. And when they reviewed the intel later, when they traced the disrupted enemy movement, the perfectly timed elimination, the impossible distance, silence filled the room. 4,543 meters, one of them finally said, disbelief heavy in his voice. Another shook his head slowly. That's not possible. But it was, because she had done it. Left for dead in the freezing cold, and still somehow she fought back. and from that day on, they didn't call her missing. They called her a legend. If you enjoyed this story and want more intense thrillers and suspenseful adventures, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and share it with friends who love a good mystery. Your support helps me bring you more stories just like this one.